So just like we're having the war between, Israel and Iran, and people want to step into the picture. That's what's going on with Natasha right now. Natasha wants to step into the arena to show her big guns and her arsenals versus Anthony. Let's go.
Anthony's met his match when it comes to me. I think that is maybe a side that you needed to see about him. Because here's the truth, you want to manipulate people with your charm and your looks, and you want to have this scandalous life, and you want to flaunt it around and just be open about it like it's cool. Like you haven't just left a trail of people hurting behind your decisions. And then you want to try me. And see, this is the difference. I'm going to say something back to you. Yeah. Whereas you would probably coddle him and allow him to just share everything that's going on with him and let him know that it's going to be okay. I'm going to let him know that there are
Okay,
consequences.
I get it. All right.
There are consequences.
There is, Natasha. But
Well, on Rolanda, before you even get into it, she's correct. One of the problems I've had with you, Rolanda, is that you don't tell Anthony the truth. Instead, what you do is you sugarcoat the truth to him. And sugarcoating the truth to a man does not work. This is exactly why a man need him father. I was kind of talking to somebody about this, and I said the difference between how a man deals with a woman and a woman deals with a man, right? So the difference between how it works is that a man is going to tell a man the truth, or some people are going to tell a man the actual truth. While in most cases, a woman is going to try to be very nice about it because she has to be very, especially if she really and truly cares for him, like Rolanda.
it's not like I cuddle him. It's not like that. No, nobody's perfect. So he does have flaws. Everybody has flaws. Everybody has skeletons in their closet.
You're right.
I'm just not one to judge in that sense. I like him. We have history. We're partners. And it's just, now that, nobody's at home and it's just something for me to do and for us to, just kind of hang out. I enjoyed it. But now that you're here, I mean, you can look at me like all you want to. I don't care how you feel or what
I
you think.
have an idea for you. And I just want you to hear me out. Have you considered rallying around Amber as it relates to her divorce?
Wait, rallying around Amber, as in you want Rolanda to join the sides of Amber, so that way, she can get Anthony a little bit further. I'm gonna give you my impression on this. Okay.
You're so supportive and kind and...
What? Why the hell would I do that? I don't. We're not.
Listen,
we're
you
not
hold the key
friends
to her
like that.
case.
Wow, we're not friends like that.
You're not friends like
Why
that
would
with
I?
her.
Why would I do that?
But her husband comes to you with everything as it relates to his scandal. You hold the key to her case. Exactly.
And her husband, we're friends. Me and Amber are not friends. So why would I
actually stick together? You see his petty behavior. You see his scandalous ways. You see how he manipulates. That really is who he is at the core. Maybe you should pick a side and just decide to help her. As a matter of fact, you probably have a lot of evidence that I can insert into discovery.
All right. I hear what Natasha is saying, but this can be very dangerous again. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's like, okay, it's like you are my business partner and you're having issues at home. And all of a sudden, I'm using all of the things that you have now told me against you in a court of law. I would prefer Anthony getting his due, somewhere else outside of her, and she getting, and he gets that punishment by himself versus her getting into that. It just would change the business relationship. I hope y'all are seeing exactly what I'm saying. It's a little bit facetious. In other words, then I would kind of never tell you anything else again. Like, because now I realize that you're no longer like a potential asset to me. You are essentially an enemy. You're a spy.
On her behalf. So you should probably just forward me her text messages between you and Anthony. I'm sure you've discussed a lot of things. And I say, let's help her.
All right. While I would want Natasha to be, let me get this straight. While I would probably want Amber to get an attorney like Natasha, because I feel like a Natasha could help him, I don't know if I like the Rolanda into that, because now it changes their business dynamic, as I've been saying before. It makes it a little bit more sophisticated, where it now becomes a little more, it's a bit more facetious. It really is a bit more facetious, ladies. I'm thinking of that now. It's like, okay, all of the things y'all have told me on live, some way, somehow, you know what I mean? You're going through something with your husband, and all of what you have told me on live as to the things that you went through, I use that against you. For me to do that I would have to be a very dirty person to actually do that. I'm trying to use words here that are not profane, but I would have to be a very nasty and egregious person to do something like that. I don't. I would want her to represent Amber, sure, but I don't know if I want Rolanda involved in the middle of it. Now, Rolanda, first and foremost, don't get me wrong, I'm still beating her for the mere fact that yes, she coddled Anthony to an extent, and I didn't like that. And yes, if you ask me, yes, do I still want Anthony to lose some of his fortune? Yes, because I want him to get the repercussion of it. Because first and foremost, as a businessman, he should have known what he must sign up for, how these things actually work, and what are his actual moves. So he does need the education. And that's why I'm not absolving him of the whole thing of the divorce. And sure, Amber can take the half or whatever percent you're going to take. Because I still want him to get the lesson. Because I feel like the lesson is important. If he gets off scotch-free, then the lesson won't be learned. And that has always been my thing. Say, oh, men think a little different. that's the difference between us men and, how sometimes women work. Women will absolve each other and then no one say, it work how it needs to work. I think that's the difference between us. But I could be wrong. But let me know what y'all think. That's my take on this one. It is confusing. It's different. Maybe we need a live for this one. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and talk to y'all soon.